Hiya folks, Billy Boudreaux here for Billy's Wrestling Inside and Video Game Reviews. Well, finally figured out how to get a webcam working on here, and it turns out it's my Xbox Live Vision camera. So now it's visual. Ooh, visual. Alright, now I'll stop having my fingers act all gay-like and everything, and say that today is Friday, November 20th, 2009, which means it is time for the TNA Impact Inside of the Week. Last night was considered the fallout from Turning Point, which was a fantastic pay-per-view, by the way, folks. Sure was. And let's just say, I want to know first off, who in the world booked Amazing Red and Scott Steiner? I mean, anybody with a half an idiot knew that Steiner was going to win. Well, he didn't really win. He got himself disqualified because, Steiner is a nutcase. But, it was weird because everybody was wearing red in that match. I mean, the referee was red-headed, Steiner, red tights, Amazing Red, always wearing red tights, and Don West with a red shirt that looked straight out of a Michael Jackson collection as quoted by Taz from last night. I did not see any point to Steiner bringing back the Steiner screwdriver. For those of you who didn't know what that move was, that was the Steiner screwdriver. I did not see any point to Steiner taking the X Division title belt, putting it over Red's face, and beating the crap out of him with it. But I did notice a sudden change in Steiner's tights from red to yellow when Lashley came out and decided to take Steiner on. So evidently this issue between Steiner and Lashley is far from over. But want to talk about unresolved issues. Raven and Stevie, or I should say Raven and his bitch Stevie, because everybody knows that's what he is. With Daphne, who's always zombie hot, no matter what she wears. Even though now she's starting to look like she's wearing circus outfits. I mean, with the hat to the side of her head like that. I mean, it looks good, but it looks weird, but hot at the same time. So I'm kind of conflicted. I understand their conflict with Abyss, and a lot of you old ECW fans remember the few wars that Raven and Mick Foley had together. I think as a team. And for those of you who did not know, Raven was when Raven was the NWA World Heavyweight Champion around 2005. He had a fantastic and just about one of the bloodiest NWA heavyweight title matches I've ever seen when he defended it against Abyss. And that was one of the best matches I've seen in TNA in quite a while. I mean, we got Samoa Joe, Daniels, and AJ Styles, which, by the way, might be the match of the year for 2009. But 2005, one of the bloodiest NWA heavyweight title matches had to be Raven and Abyss. I mean, chairs, staples to the head. I mean, they use pretty much everything but the kitchen sink. But that's the past. Let's get over to last night. And, Abyss was worried about Mick Foley's health, considering the fact he got blinded by a fireball last week, courtesy of Raven. And Abyss, was going to go it alone. And, we know Abyss. Abyss is tough. Abyss is 6'8" and 350 pounds. He can take him if he wanted to. But, he gave it his best shot. But Raven, being Raven, tried to do the same thing to Abyss, but blinded him in the eye. He was holding the thing in his hand like this, if you see my hands right here, and he had a lighter, but Abyss saw it coming. Abyss saw it coming, and that was good. He kicked it out of Raven's hand, and the referee caught him. The referee knew that came from Raven and disqualified it, but I think Abyss, Raven, and Stevie could have cared less. And tragically, it ended with Abyss getting hung out to dry, literally. They hung a cord around his neck and was hanging him by his throat from the ring. And I thought that was kind of gruesome. And Mick Foley was apparently looking for Raven and Dr. Stevie because he has very much snapped. Cactus Jack snapped. That's not good at all. When he snaps into Cactus Jack, because he snapped last night. He snapped. You know, he's irrational. He's violent. But again, the first statement I said, he's irrational. He walked right into a trap. Daphne set him up. And Stevie knocked him to the stairway backstage, and Raven hung him using Mrs. Foley's baby boy, an old JR reference. So I'd like to see what will happen. What will be the reactions from Mick Foley and Abyss next week on Impact to this from what has happened. And speaking of reactions, I could not believe Kevin Nash's actions. I cannot believe Kevin Nash has willingly joined the World Elite Gays. You may disagree with my statement, whoever watches my show, but they are the World Elite Gays no matter what anybody else says of them. That is my opinion. I am entitled to it. Eric Young has turned into a total douche. Yes, they all may be talented. You got Kiyoshi, you got Bitchy Bashir, because all he does is bitches. And you got Big Rob Kelly, who I feel a little sad for. I'll tell you for in just a second. And Brutus Magnus and Doug Williams. Doug Williams, I think, was in the WWE several years ago. That's part of a tag team. I might be wrong, though, but Doug Williams, that name does ring a bell. Anyway, they are very talented. Yes, they are. But they've all proceeded to be douches. I mean, come on, considering the way that the British Butt Invasion retained their tag team titles at Turning Point, come on. And they had a big 8-man tag match last night. It was the British Butt Invasion, Bitchy Bashir, and Kiyoshi. I really can't say anything bad about Kiyoshi. I don't know why, but I just can't. Because he hasn't done anything. His actions have garnered him, you know, as a douche. But he really hasn't said anything on mic. He really hasn't done anything to warrant a bad name for him. Every one of them else does, except him. And they took on Beer Money, who has earned my respect as of late. They got a cool theme song, and I want to ride the Boozer Cruiser. I want to ride it. And the Motor City Machine Guns, who have come onto their own as well. And the Motor City Machine Guns got the win for their team last night. But Rob Telly, kind of tried to run interference for the match, and it did not work. And it ended up costing the World Elite Gays the match last night. And boy, was Eric Young pissed. But then again, could care less if Eric Young was pissed. Now to the main event. I wish I had more time to talk about more stuff, but as you see the little clock in the corner, it's getting low on me, so I'm going to try to sum it up with the minute that I have left. But Daniel scored one of the biggest wins in his career last night, albeit it was against AJ Styles, but he was the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Now, he pins the TNA World Heavyweight Champion in a tag team match. That should open up everybody's eyes and see that he should get a TNA World Heavyweight title match. But then again, so should Kurt Angle. So, and I'll leave you guys with one last remark. What happened with Sting? Why did he not show up for his interview? Who knows? Well, until tomorrow, I'm Billy for Billy's Wrestling Inside and Video Game Reviews. Bye!